Okay, welcome to this hand exercise lesson, a really great exercise slash warm-up for the left hand in particular. It's just a 2-bar cycle, a bar of 4 and a bar of 3, but just particularly challenging with the left hand because we're leading with the left hand, but also the way this changes from the doubles to the triplets, which you'll see in a second, and there's 2 versions of triplets that we can play, and it kind of gives you a burst of doubles and then somewhat of a break with the left hand, but then also a burst of doubles, and then we're going to do something else with triplets to really challenge the hands. And like I say, particularly good for your left hand, but if you're a traditional grip player, it's even better. If there are any traditional grip players left out there, if you do play traditional, it requires constant maintenance because it's so unnatural, especially if you want to play rim shots and louder passages. I remember even Virgil Donati saying in a lesson that I had that it requires constant maintenance even for him. So anyway, the exercise is a bar of 30-second note doubles. And then we're going to go into a flam accent. So we've got a bar of 4 for the doubles, and then we're leading with the left, starting the doubles with the left hand, and then we play a rim shot at the beginning of the second bar, and that's going to be a bar of 3, just a single left hand rim shot or accent because we're coming out of the doubles, and then you go into a flam accent. So it's just 16th notes, but we're phrasing in 3. So you could take out the flams and just have that. And on that 4th downbeat is the beginning of the next bar with a left hand, so we go back to the doubles. So with the flam added back in. So for anything to do with flams is always a great hand practice. We want really nice, clean, and consistent rim shots for the accents, very quiet notes for the flams. So as I've mentioned before, with flam rudiments, you've got to be really conscious of your stick height so that everything looks correct, and then it's got a better chance of sounding correct, because if you're coming up from here for the flam note, it's not going to be quiet enough. But if you're right down here, like a tiny, tiny bit off the head, then it can only be so loud. So if you really have good stick heights that look good, it'll probably sound good. So then the idea is to challenge yourself. You set the tempo with the doubles. So you want to be not too fast that you can't keep up, but you really want to be testing yourself. So the idea is that the triplets give you a little break, and you're really going hard on the doubles, and then you can, of course, do this at the kit. This is a great warm-up, but also something great to do on pads with no rebound. So you're like resistance training. So it's really difficult. So you should be fatiguing very quickly with the doubles. But the idea is to really push, because you've only got to play a bar of those doubles. So even if you're really, really at failure point, you've really got to push through, and then you get that little break for the bar of 3, the triplets, and you go again, and you get that burst, that on-off thing. The next thing we can do is change the lengths. So we can do 2 bars of the doubles, 1 bar of the triplets. And then we could change the length of the triplets. So we could do, for more of a break, we could just do 2 bars each. And you can mess around with the length that way. The next thing you can do is, to make it even harder, is for that for that bar of 3, instead of playing the flam accents, we can just play continuous triplets, but all as rim shots. So we're changing the note rate. We're not playing 16ths anymore. We're going to triplets, but all rim shots, which for me as a traditional grip player is extremely difficult to do. To get this wrist turning motion, that's really how traditional, where it comes from, the power and the motion. But even so, even if you're a match grip player, the fact that you're really going for it with the doubles and the break now becomes full-on rim shots, even though it's a slower note rate, so you get a rest, they're all rim shots, so you've got more wrist action going on. So that sounds like this. So that really gets your left hand going. And the fact that you're leading with the left hand also adds to the fatigue. It's just, we do it so little, actually leading dense patterns like that with the left hand, it really shows up your weaknesses. So it's a great thing to do. I remember studying with Thomas Lang and him saying, do everything with your left hand. Whenever you sit down at a pad or a drum and you're playing any kind of hand pattern, rudiments, whatever it is in your practicing, always lead with the left. Because everybody is better at leading with the right. Everybody sits down and plays a paradiddle or whatever rudiment, double stroke, even just a double stroke roll, they'll always sit down and start with their right hand. So just reverse it. And for the next 6 months or, whatever it is in your practicing, do everything left hand lead. And I did that a lot, and it really, really strengthens your left hand. So then you put all that together and you can just mess with the lineup of the bars as you wish, and as how you're fatiguing. So you could do 1 bar of the doubles, 1 bar of the group of 3, and then you could change it so that every other time you're doing the triplets. So one time you're doing the flam accents, the next time you're doing the triplets for that bar of 3. Sounds like this. And then you could lengthen that one, for example, like on one time you could just push yourself and go, I'll do 2 bars of the triplets for the bar of 3. Which is really difficult, and it's also difficult to play that many rim shots, like 2 bars of that, and make them all consistent. So you should be kind of, with this routine, constantly switching it up and changing the lengths, maybe then go into like 2 bars or even 3 bars of the doubles, and then have a break with the flam accents and constantly mix it up. So I'll do that and then see what kind of combinations end up coming out.